I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up? What up? What's up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money Network. Oh, shoot. I was forgetting to do something. Man, you would think. I don't know what the heck's going on up in this piece, but I've got it all under control. Bear with me. We will get it right. You know, what's funny? What made me realize that I had the wrong overlays on there is I made sure to get the date right. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, it's already February, 1 month of the 12 down in 2026. And when you're grinding on a daily, that's going to happen. It's going to happen faster than it doesn't. And in fact, February is a shorty. We got a little shorty stack here. Little spinner. The spinner month of 2026 is ahead of us here in the month of February. And I'm excited, man. We got a new month in front of us. We got new goals, new bills to pay on top of everything else. So we're going to do that this month. January, look, I kind of had some ups and downs in January. Not enough ups, too many downs that I wanted to see out there. And I guess that's going to happen over the long haul. I hate to start a new year out kind of being down here, but we're grinders. We started off with a great weekend this weekend. I guess I should say we finished off with a great weekend this weekend because UFC was a banger. Fucking knockdown, drag out banger. I think the winnable side went 5-2 on the UFC 325, but I mean, I've said it time and time again. The live streams are where it's at. I mean, the data, the information sharing, the graphics that we've got there to analyze the player trends and size and height and weight and just great qualitative digestion as we try to look out there and make winning bets. We had back-to-back round 2 finishes. We had both those. I had both those. We had KOs, had those. Right down to the main event out there. Co-main cashed it. Main event cashed it. I think I figured it out. I absolutely sucked on the first fight. And I'm not much better on the second fight. And I feel like, I start them small. I don't go with like a full unit size, but I told you guys the unit game with the UFC and got to treat it a little bit different if you want to stay ahead of the mojo. And I like to bet on every fight. I don't care if it's just a small, go to the grocery store and buy a little fucking scratch off. I don't care. I don't care if you put a $5 bet down on it or a $1 bet down on it. Like, get something in the game, right? But then we get to the main card, and I am a fucking main card assassin. I said it last year at one point. I was like, man, I feel like I am dialed into these main cards. And yet again, shit. You want to talk about MMA. And what's exciting is we're only 2 weeks down. We have 43 and 45, I believe the case is. And we're only 2 down in that 43. So we got 41 to go. And it was just so refreshing because I took a big cash out again. And everyone manages their bankroll different. The money does me better in my fucking pocketbook than it does in the old fucking bankroll because I keep the same amount in the bankroll, right? But man, I mean, look, the main event circled back, had Volkanovski and Inside the Distance, had BSD laying the points, had Roofy at plus 150. He KO'd the guy in round 2, had round 2. Told you guys this guy's got a chip on his shoulder because of the change from the Fighting Nerds. Had Teixeira over Tuivasa. Malarkey did not get the Sal killed spot out there. Alakania, round 2. Alakania inside the distance. Alakania parlayed with Rouston. Rouston, KO. Rouston, round 2. Malkoon. I think I was on the island with Malkoon. Mikilev, round 2. Just fucking smacked it around and made the UFC my bitch. So listen, If you don't like money, then stay away. If you do like money, then you'll join us this Saturday because 5 p.m. is when it pops off again. 5 p.m. fight night. It's back in Las Vegas at the Apex. It'll be Batista in Oliveira. So, of course, we're going to get after it. Now, we had a lot of fun talking about college basketball, the NBA, the NFL, and NHL. We talked about some of them outdoor games as well. Yeah, I've got a little frustration going on right now with the NHL, but look, I think they got, 3 days left till the Olympic break. So thank goodness. And I think things will get back. I think we'll see some normalcy after that because we had a little bit more of that fuckery yesterday. I mean, look, first game in the NHL goes over. I'm sorry, stays under. 3-2, stays under. Oh, it's Carolina. The unders of the East. Probably should have known that, but didn't. It goes to overtime. Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay. Boston smoking them boys all game long. Goes to a shoot. Plus 180, by the way. Gave that out at plus 180. And it goes to a shootout, so we take the L. But we did cash with the Ducks to close out the night. So, yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated with the NHL, but I'm getting a little frustrated with the NBA for that matter while we're at it. However, today, all medal level members, all members of the Sports Money Network, bronze, silver, gold. If you were gifted a bronze, if you upgraded to silver, if you upgraded to show a highest level of support in the gold platform, you got paid right off the gate today. We cashed plus 7.5 in the NBA. What do you say? I'll tell you what, talk about frustrated. I literally was getting down to it, clenching the fucking hands, like talk about sweating here. They're busting them up all game. Pelicans, first quarter, they're up 30-23. They roll another 8-pack on them in the second quarter. They're up 15 at the half. They get nuked by 11 in the third quarter, nuked by 11 in the fourth quarter, and barely. I had to turn it off for the last minute of the game because I was getting pissed. I was like, I can't start my show in this mental headspace. But we cashed. We cashed. We started off the day, the week, and the month moving in the right direction. So good on us. Let's get after it. You guys know the deal. It is time to show some support. And I would ask you guys, if you haven't done so already, just a personal plea. If I could ask you to help me. Very rarely do I phrase it like that. But if you haven't gone over to the Sports Money Network on Instagram, please do so. Check it out over there. I've got the free play. I've been putting it up out there. I've been putting some graphics together for it as well, jazzing it up. Here's what you can expect from the Instagram side of things. The big game. Whatever the game that has the most ticket count bet on it for the day at time of recording, which will be before 4 p.m. Eastern. Probably, ideally, it'll be a later game in the day, but it'll be the big one, the big bopper. Whatever game that happens to be, whether it be in the, I can't imagine it would be in the NHL. Can't imagine that. But I imagine it be in the NBA or college basketball. And so when you see that play, if you want that play, you can go find that on the Sports Money Network over on Instagram. Apparently, I got to keep in less than 3 minutes. So I will do that. I've got a trend out there. It's an 11-0 trend. This game is the big one, the biggest game of the day. I don't know if you guys know what it is or not, but it is Kansas versus Texas Tech. As of time of recording, that had the most count on it. So if you're curious for the big game, it's a big prime time. They're probably going to be on national television. You know the public. They love their national TV games that everybody's fucking betting on, that they want to go put a couple of dollars on because they're going to be home for the evening and they want to watch the game. So you're looking for that play? It'll be over on Instagram. Now, I went 1-1 yesterday, but the Los Angeles Lakers money line was a nice little plus hit. So plus 140 or 145 or whatever. I think we gave it out at 2.5. Had the full game over as well, but that did not cash for us. So any event, that are them be the housekeeping. I think we caught up pretty much. We're current from what happened throughout the weekend. We're ready to go. We've only got a couple of days till the Olympic break. That don't mean we're breaking. That means we're amping up. I was thinking about the format. Might just kind of hang out. Might just kind of try to throw like all the whatever's fucking happening. I don't know. Whatever's happening is going to be on screen, and you're going to at least see me here talking to you guys about it. So couldn't be any more vague than that. We'll still have pre-gaming. We'll still have NBA, college basketball action, and whatever else floats our boat. Now, I did give out live plays. I gave out live golfing plays over the weekend. That was the one I wanted to touch on as well. First of all, let me take a step back. sports money, silver and gold members, as well as winnable, cashed out on the Australian Open. Futures, but I didn't do them like 3 months ago. I did them like the day before the tournament started. Recap. We had Rybakina and Sabalenka in the women's side of things. Well, they played each other in the finals. So we cashed almost 40. I think it was a 4-unit net on Rybakina. So it led us to it was 4-unit gross. It was 3 units net because we had a full unit on Sabalenka. So 3 units there. Then we went over to the men's side of things. We had Alcaraz for a full unit at plus 185, I think he was. We had a quarter unit on Musetti at 100 to 1 or something like that. Musetti didn't make it, but Alcaraz did. So we picked up a unit and a half there. So the tennis plays got 4.5 units over the weekend. Then I gave out 2 plays for the PGA. It was just 2 top 20 finishes. The event had started, so they were kind of live. They were definitely live bets, not kind of. J-Day sucks. That Aussie gets me every time, man. But anyhow, J-Day did not come in the top 20. However, Tony Finau did, and the Tony Finau top 20 paid out at about 4 to 1 as well. So another 3 units there. So that's 7.5 units just between the Australian Open and the PGA. Small bets. Not heading that. We're not hedging. We're not sitting on money for 3 or 4 months. They were just kind of bang, bang, jam, jam. Thank you, ma'am. We got paid on those as well. So, look, that's what you can expect. That's kind of a layout of the land of what you guys can expect between where you'll find some of them longer term bets, where you'll find some of them premium, some of the marquee game bets, the whole gamut. But I would ask you guys again, if you haven't done so, you see it on the side of the screen, Sports Money Network over on the Instagram side of business out there, trying to get to 100 subs, trying to get there, trying to be square. That being said, though, always important to smash the thumbs up button here. I appreciate those of you guys that like, repost, and leave comments. Those are all important. J-Dub, KV, Stop Geo, Robert McCormick, Ben Stevens, a couple of them that I saw this last 24 hours. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. If you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up button and we'll get to work, talk this card, get the heck up out of here and get some money. Okay. Makes it easier, boys and girls. That's right. The new era has begun. And frankly, I'd rather just it be more comfortable. So let's get to it. Let's get after it. Let's talk about this sports betting card. It's going to be I made this decision about 25 minutes ago. It's going to be a cocktail night here. There's some great NHL games on. And with only a couple of days left, they're wedging them in there. Now, there's only 4 NBA games today total. I got action on 3 more tonight. I got 5 spots tonight. I'd change that. We might just go fucking hog wild here. I got 3 player props for you guys as well. So let's see if we can lock this thing in. Let's see if we can get this cash. But man, I really like today's hockey card. I just looked at this thing and I thought, man, for a Monday, we have a real treat in front of us. Now, I have to proceed with caution. Why? Because I got to lean on you guys here in the chat to make sure I don't get myself into any trouble here. So I see Jovers here. I see he's got the Blues and the Predators. He's got the first period over 1.5. I see Blake M's here. I see Robert McCormick's here. I see Stop Geo's here. He says, good luck tonight, my people. Thank you for the show and content. Always, my brother, from possibly the same motherfucking. Probably the same mother. My dude, Stop Geo. M the Greats in the house. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey, let's cash. 9 Legacies here, too. He's got the paid in full parlay of the day. He's got Utah. CBB. Who the hell's CBB? He's got Syracuse. I know that. He's got Texas Tech. He's got Portland State. All on the spread. Okay. Bo Jackson. Cash with the Lightning last night. Fuck. Dude. Good for you for the cash, but like, really, dude? Boston. My brother, my cousin from Boston can go fuck himself. In the car, parked behind the bar. Just squeeze it in the jar. and then fucking drink it later. Fucking Boston. Bo Jackson, good for you, my dude. Twisted says, hope you're on some of these dogs. Pelicans first half cash, then grabbed Hornets plus 350 live. Great job, dude. The NBA has been the NBA Twisted. That's a great job, my dude. He says Pacers plus 6.5 and sprinkle on the money line. Grizzlies money line, Clippers money line, Florida A&M money line, Bama A&M money line, Portland State over 136. That looks like my fucking winnable card, Twisted. Are you a winnable subscriber? Because that's what it looks like. Bo Jackson likes the Calgary Flames money line. Says Leafs will choke in Calgary tonight. I don't like hearing that. That is our resident Toronto whisperer from the 6. Tell us it's not a Toronto Maple Leafs night. Peter Grass says, wow, like the new look lamps. It's not getting better too. Dude, it's just funny. It's like, when you do this, like, whoa, really? That's what I was dealing with before? I told you guys last week, I gave you my shout out to the ophthalmologists in the country. And again, from my previous days as a health insurance representative, not that I can speak to each of them states, and no longer do I provide that advice, but I will tell you that there's a high probability if you do not have a high deductible plan, especially, I almost guarantee it, you should have some free form of eye coverage baked into your program. Now, high deductible plans, not so much. One of the ways that they strip the cost down on high deductible plans is to take out those added incentives that don't get commonly utilized, like ophthalmology appointments. So anyhow, I don't want to say too much and get myself in trouble. No guarantees here. Anything I say is not conducive of that of the channel. It is simply my opinion. And Sports Money takes no liability or accepts any responsibility to the nonsense that I spew out of my mouth on a regular basis. Shout out to Twisted, says Kansas not pulling up at the crib and winning. Just saying, Texas Tech strong, D strong at home. Kansas less rest in the RD on the road. Peterson might play 25 minutes if you're like. That will be the question. How much does Peterson play? Because when he comes out, they definitely drop down to a low-level Division I basketball program. That's kind of the challenge that they've been finding, especially when he was injured. We'll get there. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about some NHL to kick it off here. And I told you my theory. I believe a lot of this sports betting comes down to theorem and then applying that practical knowledge to how it is that you're going to try to go out there and make your betting decision. Now, when it comes to Buffalo, I told you this. What did I tell you? You guys remember? I think Buffalo's fraud. Fraud alert. Now, I faded him last night, or 2 nights ago. I faded him live with you guys on stream. I was the only guy. I was on the island, and I said, no, I do not believe in this Buffalo Sabres team. I don't care if they're 302 in their last 302 games. My belief system is this. The rest of the league does not give a shit right now. They are Olympic break focused, and if they're not going on the Olympic break, they are going to Cancun, and that matters more than anything else. And now, add in that, a quarter of the league is Russian? Them boys ain't playing in the Olympics. Juicing and all the other things that go into what happened over there keep them out, so they don't give a fuck. If you're American or Canadian, which the majority of the league is, say 70% of the league, 60% of the league, I don't know. Well, there's only 25 guys. There's only 50 players amongst that pool that go to the Olympics, and the rest don't give a fuck either. So now you got a situation where you got a majority of the league just doesn't care. And here comes Buffalo. They changed their general manager. They got a coach that's fired up. They're trying to follow suit with the Buffalo Bills. They're trying to get themselves back to relevance out there. And you can tell this is evidenced by the fact that they went on that 9-10 game winning streak, and they were just a wild card team in the playoffs. So now they pick up more wins. Well, not Montreal Canadiens. Montreal Canadiens had an expectation to go to the playoffs, and they sucked out early in the season. Now chip on their shoulder, and guys like Cole Caulfield, who did not get the Olympic nod, so they go out there and Cole Caulfield's got 5 goals in his last 2 games, I believe is the number. That's my proof source when it comes to these teams and how these players are going to go about getting it done. So let's take a look at the Florida Panthers. Are they in give a fucksville right now about this Buffalo Sabres team? Or is Buffalo still trying to scrap around the dish, right? The runt of the litter, trying to weasel its way in and just lick the chicken broth off the side of the bowl. And I think that's what the Buffalo Sabres are doing right now. Now, they lost the other day against the Montreal Canadiens. They packaged together a whole bunch of wins. The Florida Panthers, on the other hand, listen, 500 team, but back-to-back Stanley Cups. So in all fairness, you're just trying to get out of this thing and get through this next stage so that you can come back at 500, close the gap, and defend your Stanley Cup championship. Evidence, they just dropped 3 in a row. They lost at Utah 4-3. They lost at St. Louis 5-4. They lost to Winnipeg 2-1. They're putting in just enough effort to close the gap, not get hurt, get their players and their team back and healthy and ready to go. So for all of the aforementioned reasons, I'm going to take the Buffalo Sabres tonight. And I have not been the trend rider. I have not been the guy that has been on the train. I was going to sing the song and I decided I better not. But tonight I am. Tonight I like this. And if you want a little rivalry trend to boot, when you're the dog against the division rival, you are 13-3 on Mondays because Mondays are shit fuck off days. Nobody likes going to work on Mondays. So for all of the aforementioned reasons, for all of that information packaged together, little theory coupled with a trend, that's what we do here. If you're new here, we do it better than anybody. And the part of the reason that we do it is because we're not just looking to see the basic. Well, these guys are 500 at home. These guys are 500 on the... Anybody can give you that information. We try to look for the advanced analytics to bring it all together. And at even money, I want to take this Buffalo Sabres team. So that will be how we open up this NHL card this evening. Little theory, a little trend. We put them together. It's our friend. We'll take a nice price tag on this Buffalo Sabres in a bounce back position before we move on to the Central Division. And I might be wrong. It's not like it's the first time it's happened. It has happened and it will happen again. But I have commented, and I don't know why, but I like this Nashville Predators team. I think they mind fucked me when they brought in Steve Stamkos 2 years ago. Because I got to, with respect, they're another 500 team. Now, the difference between, like I talked about the rest of the league and these guys, I don't know that Nashville has enough to come back from the, these guys might flip the switch and it just might be too late for these Predators. And the St. Louis Blues, on the other hand, look, they're not playing great hockey either. In fact, they're going to go to Joel Hofer tonight. Oh, by the way, for those that like the goalie information, going back to that Sabres game, they're going to go to Alex Leone. He has a 13-7 record. Sergei Bobrovsky on the other side for the Florida Panthers. 3.05 goals against average for Bobrovsky. Leone's got a 2.64. The problem for Buffalo is they've got that UPL body injury. And so I believe that keeps this thing defensive oriented, lower scoring. We've talked about that before. Leone, 27 of 30 saves his last game he started. But that was against Montreal. So if you want to talk about the guy that's been riding the hot streak, it is Leone. He's won 10 of his last 11. He's a 10-1. He's playing fantastic hockey right now. And the Florida Panthers are on a 3-game losing streak. So there you go. Let's take some let's take some Buffalo Sabres. Let's go to the St. Louis game here. Hofer's been stinking up the house, man. 4 goals on 20 shots his last game. He's averaging 89.9% save percentage. But on the Nashville side of things, UC Saros is 89.5% save percentage as well. So we kind of got a mediocre average goaltending front right now, despite these guys potentially being the number ones. The challenge I have with St. Louis tonight, Rob Thomas, not the Matchbox 20 guy, but the NHL player, most likely out of the lineup for the St. Louis Blues tonight. Because I wanted to fade the Predators as I looked at this game. But then when I saw that good old Bobby T might not be in the lineup, and then they add Joel Hofer to it, I was like, shit. So I think at home, you kind of give the Nashville edge here, even though I do like St. Louis and I can't get to Nashville. They've bitten me too much at this point. But what I did look at it is neither team really goes out there and scores. Now, Nashville does shoot the puck a lot, but they're just shit low quality shots. If you look at their scoring expectation and they blot these out, they chart them out across the league. Very low expectation and quality scoring or quality shooting opportunities for the Nashville Predators. So, yeah, they're probably a little bit more deep because of guys like Stamkos. Yeah, they get the goaltending edge tonight, despite the fact that It's a slim margin. It's just that Hofer's allowed 10 goals in his last 3 games. So how can you get excited about that piece of shit? But I don't expect it to be high scoring. I think that the reality is we see the Nashville Predators win the game, but the most likely this stays under the 6. So I've got the under 6 at minus 120. That's what I'm looking at here. What do you guys say about that? Let's see what's happening. Stop Geo says Caesars offering 25% boost for Super Bowl prop bets. I got a Super Bowl prop idea I was thinking about. I'm going to reach out to some of the fellas and see if we can bring it to fruition. Stop Geo says get that vig down. One of them that's been really popular right now, just off the cuff that I've noticed, I've seen it like 17 times in the last 2 days on Twitter, seems to be the under in Kenneth Walker rushing yards. So I think I figured out the way I want to play it. I haven't gotten there yet, though. Peter Grassi says Caulfield, unreal. Only like 5'8". Modern NHL, unusual. Yeah, I remember that, dude. Remember when Brian Giunta was like 5'8", and everybody was like, oh, he's too small to play hockey. And then he went on and had a really storied career, despite being a short little guy. Bought a house not too far from me on the water, Lake Ontario. Twisted says played these 3 plays tonight in the NHL. Leafs money line, Canadians money line, and the Senators money line for Twisted. Bo Jackson says, come on, ride this train. Ride it. Dude. Twisted says, you're a little worried about the Wild, but we'll see. Nasty Nate says, what I got out of that was that sometimes Mike licks the broth off the side of the bowl. I mean, if you're cooking the big batch of soup, you got to scrape it off the side when all that sediment rises up to the top. That's all the goods, my friend. Shut the Michael Pieces looks great with the glass. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that, man. Twisted, get on the Red Wings for the upset win outright, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Might just live bet him. Interesting concept. Let's go to this last game here. In the NHL here, at least from the NHL card, quite a few spots that I like tonight. You know, I told you, I'm fighting with the fact that these fucking games the last 2 weeks, a week and a half I'm just watching checked out dudes right now is what I'm watching. And I get it. You know, it's like I said, when you go to the Christmas break, these are guys that are 23, 24, 25, 26 years old with $100,000 checks in their back pocket, and they're on the road. So they're either they're not spending money when they go on the road. They got the nutritionists, right? So they get the hotel, everything's comped, everything's paid for. So all that money's just doing is doing this. And then they get to a point where they got this little break. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know what? I'll go to Cancun. We'll get high-end resorts at $50,000 for a week. So let's fucking go. And naturally, for the first time they're getting to take those trips with all that money in their back pockets, the old fuck you money, naturally, you can check out a little bit, right? How are you the day before you go on vacation? The 2 days before you go on vacation? You fully engaged? I had an asshole buddy that used to book a shitload of appointments. And I was like, dude, all that's going to make you do is have to do a lot of work before you leave. You're better off loading it up as soon as you get back so you hit the ground running. But anyhow, that's a different story. Colorado Avalanche, Detroit Red Wings will fire up a game here where we found that this Colorado Avalanche team has maybe met the depths of mediocrity when it comes to their schedule this year. They have not had the greatest of form, including a recent loss to the Detroit Red Wings. Somehow, despite all of that, I'm sorry, a recent beatdown of the Red Wings. But they had 2 losses before that. So this is the second leg of a back-to-back. Or I should say, how should I rephrase this? They just played Detroit. They just beat the shit out of them 5-0. That was at Detroit. So it's the home and home. That's the term I was thinking of. I don't know why I blanked on that. And McKinnon, first guy to get to 40 goals on the season. So despite the back-to-back losses at Ottawa, at Montreal, the big one was Toronto. They took them down. Kind of an interesting spot, because if you look at who they've lost to, now they took down Toronto, but that was the second leg of a back-to-back. They lost to Nashville. That was a surprise. That's kind of when I thought, oh boy, things might not be quite where we thought they were here. But generally, a team coming off the loss in a shutout fashion is a spot that I want to back. Generally. But as I look at this Red Wings team, is that where I want to go? Now, just so we're on the same page, when I talk to you guys about that, and we talk about it in baseball all the time. That was one of our most successful things, is the team just got shut out yesterday. Let's just go right back to them. No more cap involved. 287 and 246 teams who got shut out versus a winning team. If it's a home shutout, they're 71 and 69. So maybe in recent form, it's been doing better than it has, but I still don't like this Montreal Canadiens, or I'm sorry, this Detroit Red Wings team. Colorado plays a non-conference opponent. They're 71 and 29. They're beating the shit out of them. When they face a cross-conference opponent in the second spot of a back-to-back, the home and home back-to-back for the Colorado Avalanche, they're 19 and 4. So put all the bounce back. I got it. I get John Gibson. He's the best guy that they've got going on out there for the Red Wings as well. But you got Mackenzie Blackwood on the other side of things. Yeah, they've struggled. But it was Blackwood that just showed that he could stop every shot they gave him. That's his third shutout of the year. It's no accident. They were 1-3 going into that spot out there. So now you got this Red Wings team. You just beat them 5-0. Confidence goes up. And now you take them back at home on top of that. So Red Wings coming into this one in poor form as well at 0-2-1. It's good enough for me to jump in. I think this is a spot where one of the only teams that go out there and literally put the boot back to the ass of a team they already beat are the Colorado Avalanche. But we're going to take them on the puck line. We'll take the -1.5. We got -1.5 Colorado Avalanche. That's a +120, +120 tagger. I could see the regulation, but I prefer the puck line. I think they just got their number. Peter Gracias is true, Mikey. St. Catherine Street has been known to weaken the legs a bit too. Yes, it will. Stop Geo Engineering says, think if you're taking the Wings, you got to roll with the -1. Yeah, I mean, you would think they're not going to, I don't know. I didn't approach it I know some guys will cap like both sides of it and say, okay, well, where do I come up with the difference? But I guess I kind of do that a little bit. Kind of. +165 is a nice number. It's come down from $2 though. What are you waiting for? I'll tell you, the Sharp Perspective betting report came in. I know some of you guys enjoy this information as well as I do delivering it. Although they've been struggling. We know that action between, like, the first 10-day rip out of Thanksgiving was fucking on fire. I think they had a 4-day stretch going in and then like 2 weeks coming out that they couldn't miss. They bounced back to struggling a little bit here recently because we're not seeing the dogs bark to the same degree, kind of like the divisional rivals in the NFL playoffs. But they are on the Utah Mammoth tonight. Number one, Sharp Respected betting information came through. The Mammoth are huge favorites at -265. Now, argument being made that they're playing the Vancouver Canucks, and the Vancouver Canucks stink. I get it. But I ain't laying that kind of price tag here. The Canucks beat the Ducks, the Red Hot Ducks. I was on the Canucks that night, +132. They just lost 3-2 to Toronto. They've just come off of 6 straight home games. So yes, they're going to elevation, but look, Utah's 1-3 in their last 4. The only spot, and they had, by the way, a monster road trip. It's a good spot to fade Utah. Stay tuned, keep your notifications on, and subscribe to subscribe to Winnable, at least for the free bets, because I'll look and see if we can't get ourselves. I'll see if as the night progresses, come 9:30, if we can push just a little bit to find a Vancouver Canucks play out there. Cause I'm not laying no way. 250, 260, 280. You're fucking crazy. But let's move on to the NBA here. The association. Very excited to say that we're 1-0, and I gave the play to all the members here on the Sports Money Network. So if you guys don't check out the post tab, got to help yourselves here. Help me help you. I put it out there for everybody. It was probably about 2:30. I saw the world seem to be on the, was it the Charlotte Hornets? And yet at the same time, the line was moving against them from 7.5 to 6.5 there right at flip. So yeah, we got him by the hook. Make sure you take the number that I put out there for you guys as well. The Rockets and the Pacers, however, here's a game that's going to pop off. Again, small NBA card. So not really selective. Not really selective. I mean, a couple of you guys are talking about this Pacers spot. look, you've heard our story. We've been here doing it together with this Rocket side of things. It ain't been pretty. 60% of the bets and 58% of the cash are on the Pacers. The Rockets just can't rock it. I don't know what's going on. 222.5 has dropped to 218.5, and you have 88% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. So when you look at it and you start breaking it down, when I talk about the Rockets not rocketing, like at home, sure, at home, they just beat the Mavericks 111-107. We had the Mavericks plus 10.5. Why? It's too many fucking points. Come on, what are we doing here? If you look at it before, now they did take Atlanta to the woodshed in their own barn, so I get that. But again, 1-3 in their last 4. And then on the other side of things, 3-1 of their last 4 are the Pacers. 2 of 3 games came against the Atlanta Hawks. They lost the first one. Well, guess what happens? There's the old zigzag, the old bounce back. But 3-1 to the over in their last 4. This Rockets team has been a rocket to the under. That's where I would say here. The rocket ship's out of gas and it's fallen back to earth. And that's where we're going to play in this game is the under. In fact, check this out, man. Meaty margins are the numbers that I was trying to find for you guys here. First of all, start with the Rockets. 19 straight times they have gone to the under, and it couldn't be any more simple. They're not a massive favorite, and they shot less than 45% their previous game. They're going under by 13.5 points. 13.5, double digits. It's a low number. It should scare you from a low number, or at least make you go, wait a minute. Why is the number so low? And I think that's part of the process and problem. The Rockets are not delivering when they are not shooting, and that couldn't make any more sense. The Pacers, they are not consistent. When they do shoot, they don't back it up. They are 9-0 to the under if they had 124 more points the previous game. They are 12-0 to the under if they won by 5 or more points the previous game. They're going under by 17 points a game in those spots. Coming off a win of 5 or more points, a comfortable win. I think what that tells me is they get a little confidence going, and then they start thinking about, okay, well, let's go back. Let's keep doing that, but let's focus on slowing the game down and playing our style and playing defense. It's the only thing I can think of in that. But for the aforementioned reasons for me, I'm going to jump in. I got 218.5. I'm going to take the under 218.5 in this game. I'm going to say under, and I do have a side that I posted over on Winnable. What do you guys think about that? Peter Grossi says, how about the Utah puck line is minus 105? There you go. Damian T. Betts says no Durant, so got to take the Pacers. I like the Pacers quite a bit in this game this evening. So I'll tell you what, I'll add it to you guys. I put it out there on Winnable. I like the Pacers plus 6.5. And I like to sprinkle the money line too. I think this is a really good Pacers outright win situation. So it's funny. I was talking with my guy Shark this afternoon, talking some NBA hoops. And we both agreed. Good spot for the Pacers. Good spot for the Pacers to potentially win outright. So why not add it? Why not? Let's go. Let's add that spot out there. Give you a double dipper. Let's move on to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Memphis Grizzlies. So as I was connecting with Shark and we were talking about the NBA. Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Come on. Shit. I see the clock still moving. Come on. Oh, boy. All right. That sucked. That was great for viewing audience, but I think we're back to it. Oh, he says, hearing you, but the screen was frozen. I should have recognized that because the clock was still ticking. All right. Well, listen, I got a couple things under works to fix the internet anyways here. I'm battle testing a couple of different things. So stay patient. Stay patient with me. Let's see. Where did we leave off here? Memphis Grizzlies, Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to jump in on the under for this game here. Let's speed it up. And we'll go to it here. Intersecting zeros, we've got Minnesota. They're going to the under if they're getting more than 11.5 points. I'm sorry, more than being less than in this case. Excuse me. It's two negatives equal a positive. So the 11.5 points the key. But they were the favorite. After a favorite of 8 or more points. And what they're averaging are 220 points a game in those spots. So we got almost a 230, 228.5 here. And then this one kind of made a lot of sense. If you're Memphis, you're 13-0 to the under if you allowed more than 15 threes and over 129 points the previous game. In other words, the other team came out there and shot the lights out the gym. If they shot the lights out the gym, you want to go to the under the next game because it's very hard to back that up and repeat the same thing. So that's what I'm going to do here. I've got the under in this game. I've got, let's see. Let's see. The fuck. Full internet shutdown on me here. It's all right. We'll talk through it. We'll see if the screen will catch up to us as we get her going. Fuck. This sucks, huh? Sucks when you get some internet issues. Yeah, thanks, Twisted. I know. I'm just waiting for the slide to change. All right, well, fuck it. Famous last word. I don't know. Listen, obviously it's a tough technology day for us here at the Mikey Money Factory, but that don't mean we can't get paid. I'm going to take the Sixers in this game. Sharp Perspective betting information came in from the NBA, and their number one observed capper came in and smacked away on the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got 65% of the bets, 65% of the cash on the Sixers. The line came down from 3.5. It's moved to 1.5. There's some people that like the total in this game here, but Embiid should be playing. Clippers are 1-5 when they've got the rest disadvantage. Yes, since Christmas, they've been going pretty well. But kind of a tough schedule spot here for the Clippers. I think if we're going to start fading the Clippers, now's the time. 11 of their next 12 games, they got winning teams on deck. Embiid's been firing. Maxi's been firing. I mean, the squad's ready to roll here. I am not fading. And now this is where Shark and I disagreed this afternoon. Bottom line, it's the first West Coast trip for the Philadelphia 76ers. It doesn't sway me. There's no data that suggests just because it's their first West Coast trip, they're not going to go out there and perform. To me, this is, and I see it twisted because I waited till flipped and grabbed the Clippers in the money line. I just think this is a spot where it's a good opportunity to take the Sixers team to get this win. We know the Paul George shit and everything else that goes along with it, but again, it's not enough. These players, there's too much ball discipline going on. You know what I mean by ball discipline? Like they're chucking the rock around in an equal and distributed rate, and everybody's getting action out there. Look at their last 3 games. They busted up a battle royale with the Bucks, 139-122. They took down the Sacktown Kings, 113-111. And they beat the shit, belt the ass on them Pelicans, 124-114. So at the end of the day, for me, I like this little run these boys are on here. Conversely, with the Clippers, I mentioned that their run since Christmas has been pretty fitting. They did lose to Denver. They fired it back with a big beatdown against the Suns yesterday. That pissed me off. I thought that was a terrific Sun spot. It was not. So, I think this is just a tough scheduling situation. And I want to be involved with the Philadelphia 76ers. Not because it's a homer pick. You don't hear me talk very often, Homerland, about my 76ers. But tonight I'm going to jump them. I'm going to ride that sharp respected betting report and get in the game. Look at this. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to toss the old graphics guy in the firing squad here. That happens to be me. Okay, listen, I got 3 games left. I'll finish it up for you guys in the college hoops arena, and then we will just chalk this one up to this iteration of my internet connection is not the one to be. All good, Twisted. It's all good. No, we're not all going to be on the same side. If we were, it wouldn't be any fun. It'd be too easy. Although I wish if we were all on the same side, we'd just keep winning. But yeah, look, this I can only trial by fire this internet connection. The fucking internet company doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So unfortunately, I've got to keep trying. And this connection is so I will try another. Let's see if we can get something happening for us. Yeah, well, we're kind of back in. There we go. All right, real quick. Let me just move this thing along here because we're in fail land with the internet. Florida A&M 8-11. It's SWAC, baby. You guys know the deal with me in the SWAC. I like to get on the unders in the SWAC. I'll tell you, under specifically when it comes to the SWAC, when they're playing against conference opponents, 156 and 117. So you got to respect that. When it comes to this game, however, I'm not going to get involved in SWAC unders. We'll save that for the next game. I'm going to get involved in the Florida A&M business here versus Bama State. I want the favorite. Bama State in the rested favorite role off a loss of a beatdown, 15 or more points. Are 7-0 to get her done out there. Does Florida A&M scare you? Does that strike the fear in your heart that these boys can't? They just got beat down and they're still a favorite. That tells you exactly how bad. You know, when some people say the line tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. And by the way, 61% of the bets and 78% of the cash came in on Florida A&M. And yet it's moving to threes. It's moving to threes. Bo Jackson's got a good record or good stat there. Not for me. But he says Nick Nurse has a record of 1-9 with the Sixers against the Pacific Division, but on the road in his coaching career. All right. Well, part of that was last year when Embiid was injured, right? So, I mean, all right. All right. That's a good stat. That's hard to argue. You know, I like them trends. Them are the trends. That one's not my friend, though. And so in any event, when I look at Florida A&M, I don't spend a lot of time watching the SWAC. I like to watch the unders. 5 straight unders for Florida A&M. They're struggling to get out of the 60s, 62 points in a win against Mississippi Valley. That may be the worst team in college ball. That should tell you what you need to know. And you got this Bama State team, back-to-back blowout beatdowns. Texas Southern on the roads, 96-64. Bethune-Cookman, 69-54. Another beatdown out there. But that one opened up the trigger. And now they're back-to-back home games. You know, you got to think about that when it comes to these college kids early in the week. Coming into this one here, you look at, you know, the Florida A&M side of things. This is a second road game for them. So it's a perfect scheduling spot with the line telling you why is this Bama State team the favorite. We'll lay the 2.5. Not scared of this -2.5 spot out there. We'll keep her moving. Some really decent mid-level basketball today here. Speaking of that Bethune-Cookman and the SWAC, this is the one I'm going to go to the under. 141.5. So started to see some 142.5s. So we get an extra point in our back pocket. And we got 81% of the bets and 81% of the cash. It wasn't until late in the day that the line started moving. Dr. Bradley in the full, but then Cookman goes out there and puts the belt to ass. I mean, the guy's, look, he is who he is, right? He's the best player in the SWAC. You got to respect it. Problem is, I just don't see how Alabama A&M hangs on with these guys. I think that Bethune-Cookman goes out here, sets the pace and the tempo. Speaking of that Florida A&M beatdown spot out there, Alabama A&M just beat these guys 72-65. So a bad team on the other side of things here. But look, 4 of the last 5 games have gone under for Bethune-Cookman. 3 of the last 4 games have gone under for the Florida A&M spot, and this is that SWAC opportunity that I want to take advantage of because I think this number is just too high. SWAC unders in conference play, I told you 156 and 117, but when you go to Bama A&M against the SWAC particularly are the ones that are leading the trend. Think about this. 75 and 35. SWAC unders against the conference, 156 and 117. Bama A&M's, this is a good Bethune-Cookman spot too. If you want to double dip it and take a crack, I could see you guys getting involved with Bethune-Cookman. And then last but not least, I've got Idaho State, Portland State. You know, I've been an Idaho State, Portland State fan. You guys have heard me talking about it with CMAC. By the way, Saturday show, fucking smashing success again. We won our first 9 games that we gave out on Saturday. If you guys haven't checked out the 11 a.m. college basketball show, it is really something terrific. First 9 games. I went on an 8-0 streak. CMAC popped one in there as well. 9 straight wins before we finally lost by the hook in a game. So dialed the fuck in as we are. I get my guy Shark in there to talk the NFL. We're dialed in. Get my guy CMAC in there to talk about college basketball. We're dialed in. Why wouldn't we be? We get MMA Jeff and I and Ramon talking about the UFC. We're dialed in. That's why we had to create this sports money network to get the information out to you guys and build this community of winning sports handicappers. Idaho State, Portland State, though. Look, I like Portland State. I was riding them. I told you guys in conference, this Portland State team is something to contend with here. The problem is the number's getting a little big for me. It's gone from 6.5 to 7s. Now we're seeing 7.5s out there. And yes, 62% of the bets and 56% of the cash are on the Idaho State side of things and moving against them. So there is some belief system that this Portland State team should go out there and just smack these boys. And I get it. I want to be in that business too. 3rd and 5 day, however, for Portland State. 2 big games in a row already. So I don't know how much energy they have left in expenditure. When you look at an Idaho State team that blew a 17-point second half lead last month to these guys. So little revenge opportunity on tired legs for Portland State. Maybe that means the defense gets suspect here. Portland State's been running unders. They've been running unders because they've been out there kicking ass and taking names and controlling pace. 3 of their last 4 were covers as well. So Portland State continues to find a way to cover, but this number, look at, they're covering 2.5s, 1.5s, 4.5s, 4.5s. You move it to 7. Why I like this opportunity is I think Idaho State stays competitive. This is why I'm not on Portland State tonight, because I do think they can find a way to stay in the mix. And if you look at it, 66 points, 62 points, 60 points. The problem that they've got, their totals are getting set almost 10 points higher than Portland State's. And yet they're setting this total around a Portland State line at 136.5. So in a low scoring game, an Idaho team in a bounce back position are 117 and 57. Idaho State overs after a loss are a pure 2-1. They're 50 and 25 for Idaho State overs. This is where that line bounced out to me and said, this line's too low. And then Big Sky overs against the conference. The Big Sky's an over conference, 223 and 169. So we've got our under conference in the SWAC. We got our over conference in the Big Sky. Remember that as we get back after it tomorrow with you guys at 6 p.m. here on the Sports Money Network. Thank you for being patient with me through the internet dilemma. But we'll be back tomorrow. We'll fire it up. I'll have a new configuration. We'll see if this one can maintain and stick for us. In the meantime, like and subscribe. If you guys haven't done so, go check out the Sports Money Network over on Instagram. Just popped off the TikTok channel as well. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but I figured I better start posting to it. Don't want to be the last guy to the TikTok party, although I feel like maybe we are. So in any event, my TikTok, it's not how I envisioned using TikTok. But anyways, good luck to you guys. Have a glorious evening. Thanks for tuning into the channel here tonight. Best of luck with all your bets. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. You'll find Ramon Scott at 9.